Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. We're going to talk about some course design in Iowa, the match play on UDisc app, and Robert doing really well at disc golf.
Look out.
Say what?
Say, wait, hold on.
Hey, everybody, this is Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze.
Oh, man.
And I have Eric Match Play McCabe. Getting his match play bracket set up here for Emporia, Kansas. And then further down the road is Robert.
Down the road.
He played pretty good this weekend, McCall.
Hey, look out.
Look out. So, Eric,
Bobby,
match play.
okay,
what?
No,
Okay.
go on. I'll go on.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I was going to talk about your match play. Right before we started recording, you went live and you hit your create bracket button on UDisc for the match play. How exciting is that to get all that set up?
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like
and easy, right?
Yeah, and obviously I'm not playing because my rating won't allow it, but it is so cool to like have everybody in the spreadsheet and then just click one button. That's all I had to do. Click one button and boom, we have the bracket set. It's kind of like March Madness. It was like Selection Sunday here on Monday in the Disc Golf Answer Man studio. It was. I'm sure I'm going to get some complaints about seating, like always.
But that's what makes it interesting.
What is interesting and crazy is Dixon Jowers is actually running one in Emporia as well, and you can run a few of them in the areas because there's only one winner that gets to move on. And in his matchup, Jeremy Rusko, you may have heard of him, is playing Kevin Schaefer,
one of our graphic designers.
Yeah, good guy who just made the hop up to open.
Yep, both great players,
yeah.
And they both signed up for mine, thinking, well, it's a tough match, I may lose it, so I want to make sure I have another opportunity. Guess who's playing each other first round in my match as well?
That's so crazy.
So yeah, it's nuts. It's I'll tell you, I think it may be too late at this point to run them.
It's too late to get one, but
to get one to run, but you can still play them if there's any in your area, dude. You have to do this. Like there's a guy here in town that man, he's going to be kicking himself when he finds out that he didn't get in and couldn't get in because of the prizes. The prizes are ridiculous, and I know we've talked about it before, so we don't need to go into it. But I'll just say Discs for Life is pretty cool.
Yeah, so disc golf.
I'd say that's pretty cool.
I mean, come on.
So get more information at discgolfmatchplay.com. And I'm actually looking at udisc.com/matchplay. And I was looking through some of the recent results. It looks like Florida and Kansas has some results. So congratulations to, looks like Dan Perez.
The boy Dan.
And in Kansas, I think these are the results. Yeah, Greg Morrow from Kansas, Chris Ford.
Nice.
Scott Reek
won?
Looks like that. If I'm reading this correctly, I think so.
Did they win like their overall thing, or is that just their first round? Okay, yeah, good for them. Cool.
Yes, because they played on Saturday, March 10th, and it looks like that's the name that's highlighted. So check that out to see if the results are in your area, or just to kind of keep up with the results.
You can also check it out on the app, on the UDisc app.
Yes, absolutely. So cool stuff. The doubles match play or the singles match play is from March through April.
It finishes in May.
And May.
It's basically a month for each.
Yeah, May, and then the doubles match play will run July through September.
Which we haven't even really started even discussing the doubles part of this match.
When does that happen?
Tomorrow. No, I don't know.
Okay, we'll have to figure that out.
After the singles one in May is complete. That's when we'll start.
We'll talk about the doubles.
Talking about it a little bit more.
And then, of course, the championships June 22nd to 24th here in Emporia, Kansas.
Yes.
Good stuff. Now, Robert, we alluded to some disc golf play you had this past weekend.
Yes.
You headed to not a very long trip, 2.5 hours? 2.5 hours?
2.5 hours put together.
Actually,
it was about 3.5 hours.
That's pretty close. 2.5 hours, and you're about halfway there.
Okay, there you go.
That's right. Yeah, we went up to Kansas City this weekend.
Yeah.
A bunch of people from DD, actually. My wife and I got to go together to this one, which was cool. Most of the time we don't get to go to tournaments together, but Anthony rode with us, and then Kevin Schaefer went up there, and he brought his girlfriend Dallas, and then Corey and Jackie both came up there as well. Jackie was playing, Corey was just hanging out. So we played 2 tournaments this weekend. One was Can You Ico at Wyandotte County.
But can you?
I could not.
He did not.
Turned out I didn't, and that's the first one. That's the one that we made picks for.
Yes.
In our surveys and polls and other things. segment. I finished 5th there, and I threw really, really well and just didn't putt well. They have Mach 3 baskets out there, and I got a little scared. I saw several people spitting through and not getting caught on good putts, and so I just tried to lay the putts in really softly and in the middle, and I bet I missed 8 putts.
Ouch. 2
to 3 inches low, right in the center of the cage.
Why?
I was just scared of the bat. I was scared of getting spit out, which is like, turns out in order to get spit out, you have to actually hit the chains. Did you know that?
I did know that. Actually.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I tried to tell you that.
You did, and I didn't even.
I tried to give you advice.
Yeah. So here's a low light from that tournament. So I ended up finishing 5th. It wasn't like I played awful. My rounds were 992, 988.
Well, that and you finished 5th, but only like 3 strokes out of 2nd or something like that. So
yeah.
4 strokes out of the lead, 3 strokes.
There you go. Yeah,
that's what I said. 3 strokes out of 2nd.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So which is fine. It just it was just flat. One low light. I coming back out of the woods. My second round, I had 16 threes and 2 twos for a 58. So let's try that again. 52. And up until this point in the round on hole 8, I had gotten all threes, missed a couple birdies I wanted to get, and so. I was playing up pretty easy par 3, threw my Explorer up high on a hyzer just to try and get it close, stick close to the basket because I wasn't feeling confident on my putt, and I hit the basket.
Ooh.
2 inches below going in, and it rolled back down the hill around 100 feet, maybe a little bit more. It was one of the worst tournament rolls I've ever gotten lifetime.
That's good.
Yes. It was so far that I jump putted to get back up to the basket and still came up 15 short. It was a brutal, awful roll away. I think that's the worst one I've ever had. Rosedale was a different story entirely. The weather was beautiful at Wyandotte. Beautiful. Rosedale was set up a lot more kind of in a deuce or die type layout. And it was cold and windy all day. And when we started that day, I just said, I'm going to commit to my putts. And if they fall out or get spit out or whatever, that's fine. But I'm at least going to give it a chance to get spit out by hitting the basket, and ended up winning that tournament by 2, and just played really steady. I didn't have any 4s on the day at all. I shot a 45 and a 46 to end up winning by 2 over Andrew Presnell. He's who won at Wyco. He played pretty well that day. Ben Wiggins and Kyle Webster.
Nice card there.
Yeah. Oh, we had a great final card.
And what I was gonna say earlier when I said Bobby.
Oh yeah,
Bobby.
Yeah.
I think you're in trouble.
Why?
Because I think Robert's going to get that 1,000 rated.
I know. I saw the ratings you had.
Not tomorrow. Not on tomorrow's update.
Yeah, there's an update tomorrow, but it won't be that.
And he's going to Waco to play. He's going to play in Waco, correct?
Yes.
And that's a great place to get some.
Got some big players out there.
Some play mediocre golf, get good ratings.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because put us. Like put the rounds this weekend with a group of pros, and a group of better pros. I probably don't win because somebody comes out and just shoots,
44.
Yeah, or 13-13 or something crazy, right? Because it was so doable out there, even though it was cold and windy. But those rounds felt like 10-35, 10-25 or so instead of 10-23, 10-13. So playing with better players, you still have to show up. Like you've got to play well.
Play your game,
but. Those rounds would be probably 10 or 15 points higher with the better field.
So if you're new to the podcast, if you've been listening for a while, just go grab some coffee, go grab your stack of discs or whatever when you're putting, because you've already heard this. But we have a bet going, me and Robert McCall. I told him that once he works in disc golf, his disc golf game goes down, not up, like some people fantasize about when they work in disc golf. It's just disc golf every day, all day. So I bet him that he would not be able to hit 1,000 rated player from last year up until the end of 2019. No, I'm sorry, end of 2018. All he has to do is hit 1,000 rating on a rating update. And he was going up. Then he went. Did you go up and go down, or go up and just stay?
Yeah, because I'm playing fewer tournaments now. Yeah. The tournaments that I do play count a lot more, and so I have like kind of bigger swings.
Yeah.
Whereas before it would be a point or two in either direction. I've gone. I went up a little from where we very first started here, and then went back down some, and now I'm back up. Overall, I think I started here at 985 or 986. Okay. I'm at 992 right now. I assume that I'll go up a point or two tomorrow.
Okay.
But that doesn't include the tournaments from this weekend, where one of them I averaged 990 and the other I averaged 1018.
Right.
So those will help.
These will help for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll just have to see how that plays out. Some humiliation is at stake here with this particular bet. We'll see how that plays out. So,
but what you need to know is
I may have to sweep the leg this weekend.
Sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg.
So that he can't play well.
It's Karate Kid, but also The Office.
The Office.
So good stuff there, guys. Very good stuff. Now,
and by the way, if you listen to the podcast, I see a lot of people giving me support out there on Facebook and in comments and stuff like that. I truly appreciate it. You know, like we have this bet just for fun. I mean, it's not really just for fun. It's for
I give him the stink eye every now and then.
ultimate humiliation. But truly, you know, we just did this for fun. But thank you guys for your support. It's fun to know that when I do play well, you know, get good comments from that. And when I play poorly, people remind me of that. So that's cool too.
On either end of
They
the
sure
spectrum,
do
huh?
that.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Awesome. One more thing, or no, actually what's happened, we're recording this on Monday early because there's a lot of traveling. Like Robert mentioned, myself, Anthony, and Robert are going to Waco. Of course, Robert is going to go play. Me and Anthony are going out there to do some media work. We are hoping to film Chris Clemens in the bag.
Ooh.
And AJ Risley in the bag.
Ooh.
And I just reached out to Peter McBride to see if he's ready. I know that he was kind of like thinking, let me get my bag
Straighten it up a
settled
little
in and
bit.
stuff like that. So we'll see if he maybe can
I
do
think
like
he's pretty set.
yeah. We'll see.
I think I honestly need to do another one as well.
Same.
Yeah.
Because mine was last year, and there's like 4 new discs that have come out that made the bag.
Mine is quite a bit different as well.
So it couldn't hurt at some point when Anthony and I have a little bit available time.
Yeah. Oh
to
yeah.
go.
Once the weather gets nice and we can get out there more, we can do stuff like that. And then
interested.
now Eric is traveling, but he's going somewhere different. He's going to
Idaho. Not really.
I don't know. You tell me.
It's Iowa. Bobby thought it was Idaho earlier.
Yes.
He's going to Iowa
Iowa.
to do some course design. So tell us how that came about.
Well, it was, they just kind of reached out to us. It was a city planner that reached out through our course sales email. And it's a 14-acre park, and it's got some nice woods and elevation in it. It is going to be a 9-hole course, so it's nothing like, massive, but they don't have any disc golf in this community. There's, it's Iowa, so there's hundreds of courses in the state. They're all over the place, but they wanted me to come in and design the course and design a walking trail kind of that goes through it. And I love that they went that route instead of saying, we want you to come in and design the course and we're going to put a walking trail in.
Right.
They thought, well, let's have him do it so he'll know where it's safe and where to go, where not to go, and all that. So it's going to be fun. I've only seen pictures of the property, and it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Just from the pictures I've seen. And the topography has a lot of elevation to it. So
Nice.
it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a fun little 9-holer.
Well, if you guys don't follow Eric, make sure you follow him on Instagram, Eric McCabe
Eric underscore McCabe. Yes.
And he likes to post a lot of photos when he's out doing traveling, so you can kind of keep up what he's doing out there.
Or of Ralph. There's a lot of Ralph pictures
Ralph,
on
yeah.
there too. So.
Are you taking Ralph? Or?
He's not going to make this
okay.
one.
But yes, if you want some Ralph photos and videos, definitely follow him on Instagram.
Yes.
One last thing, and then we'll head to the questions. I reached out to PDGA a long time ago. We used to do new membership discount codes.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they used to, it was kind of weird because of the way they did tracking and stuff. And anyway, we have a new code and we are good to go. So this is only for brand new memberships, not renewal. Let me repeat that. Not renewal. This is only for brand new memberships.
numbers.
Wait, so can we use it?
You're out of the.
It's not for renewal, Bobby. That's the answer. It's not for renewal.
You're off the team.
You're out of here.
What if I want a new number?
Oh, just a brand new start over.
Yeah.
I'm going to start over.
Yeah, definitely forsake your 11674 for something that starts with a 1 but is in the hundred
What about
thousands.
111674?
Oh my gosh,
Oh my
super
gosh.
sick. Ralph's number, nailed it.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
So anyway, get a pen and paper or pencil if you prefer. Crayon, I don't care. DGAM underscore new 20. DGAM underscore NEW, the number 20, new 20. So that is if you want to get 20% off a new membership with PDGA. In fact,
And if you're on the fence about doing it, do it.
yes.
It's so worth it. I mean,
This is the
even if
time.
you don't play a whole lot of tournaments, honestly, it does help. It helps with, growing the sport in a way. Because, I mean, the PDGA does a lot. They do a lot for us.
And
so.
use that code because then they know it's from us and they'll
Yes.
think we're cool. And we
Five-
like being cool.
5 stars.
5 stars. All right, let's
Wait, what? Was that the wrong time?
Wrong place. In fact, I was doing paying some bills this weekend, and I was going through my mail, and I had got my membership package with my new rule book and my new little pin tag.
Keychain thing,
like dog tag.
So, and I threw them all away. No, I'm playing.
Oh.
No,
I sold them.
I put the rule book in my bag and then attached my little tag.
That's good, Bobby.
That rule
That's
book.
good. You did something right.
Yep, put it in the bag.
That's right. You get one.
Is that the one that has Paige on it?
Paige and Rick.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. And I actually got to play this weekend.
Oh, yeah? Where at?
Me and Sebastian played Peter Pan Park.
I saw that.
Awesome.
Yeah. I my big thing was trying out the Maverick. I went and bought the special edition Mavericks at the store. This is going to sound weird, but I paid full price for them.
Because they're special editions.
Yes, as everybody does, team members included, employees included.
I wanted to make sure I got out there because I didn't want anybody who's listening think, well, how come he gets... No, I paid full price.
Yep.
I debated whether I wanted to do it, but I looked at the burst and I thought these were really cool. They were really cool to have some special editions in my bag, so I did, and I'm glad I did.
Oh, yes.
Those things are money.
I also actually... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I wish Anthony would try the Maverick because...
I know. I think it would
I heard he doesn't even like it that
Yeah.
much.
I mean, I heard it'd be really good for his game.
I think he wanted to buy every Maverick in the store. But
And maybe every Explorer at this point.
Yeah. With his ace that he got.
Yeah, big ace this weekend.
Attaboy. How much money did you get for that?
Oh,
$2. $2. How'd you get $2?
The ace pot was...
Oh,
The ace pot was only
Fair
1
enough.
cent per person. So
fair enough.
No, he got an ace. He didn't pay into the ace fund, so he got no ace fund money.
And that will be literally the last time that ever happens.
Exactly.
Nope.
So that's another lesson learned. First lesson, put the PDJ handbook in your bag. Second lesson is always sign up for the ace fund because you never know.
Never know.
One quick thing, third lesson. I know we've been releasing some new discs lately, and we just came out with a stock Opto Ballista Pro and Opto Explorers. And, you know, there's always hype around new releases. Some people don't know if it's just hype or if they're actually good discs. I will tell you this right now about these new discs, Maverick included. They are the real deal. I threw the Ballista Pro and Explorer all weekend. Great distance shots with the Ballista Pro, and the Explorer is just really controllable and it has a really nice stability to it. And then the Maverick, if it wasn't so windy, I'd have thrown that quite a bit more as well. But when I have thrown that, it's just it's a shot shaper. It's really easy to control, really easy to throw straight or just ride to the right if you want it to. So I know that we hype up new releases, and you may be wondering like, oh, okay, are they really that good? Yes, these discs are very, very good. Certainly worth trying out.
Excellent.
Yeah. I was actually going to say something real quick as well. I did play this weekend.
Nice.
You play?
I did sometimes. The guys from Disc Store
that's right.
came down and borrowed a camera from Bobby.
Yes.
And myself, Nathan, and Evan went out with Denise as well and filmed Chase Disc Golf Course in Cottonwood Falls over at Swope Park. I know that's a mouthful and it's kind of confusing, but now that the other Swope Park's gone, it's a little easier, but whatever. But they wanted to do, I believe it was for a GBO preview, right?
Yep. Yes.
And we went out and played, and oh my gosh, what an absolute beautiful day it was. There was no wind, and it was probably 73 to 75 degrees out. I mean, it was just absolutely gorgeous. Perfect day for, like every day in March in Kansas. No wind, but no, it was great. And you guys can look for that video here in the next probably 3 weeks or so. I know he's going to edit it all together, and I think he's going to have me do some commentary on it. And but if you guys are excited about GBO coming up and you're playing Chase, this will be your opportunity to check out the course beforehand.
Yes, I was very thankful when Disc Store reached out and said they wanted to do this because it kind of helps lighten the load for us to do the course preview. So we'll feature them on the Glassmode Open mobile app and the website for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good
All
times.
Right. Now let's get to
the nitty gritty.
The questions. The nitty gritty. All right, guys, remember, as always, go to discgolfansman.com. Right now, I have actually turned off questions for the forum because we're trying to play a little catch-up. I don't want to get too far behind.
Catch up.
Playing a little mustard. But right now, we're going to take a listen to see what Joseph from SpeakPipe, what he had to say.
Hello, Disc Golf Answer Men. This is Joe from Kane, Pennsylvania, with a question about practice putting. Currently at home, I practice on an MVP black hole, which has about 24 sets of chains. The problem comes in when I go to my local course, we have DGA Mach 2, which only have 18 sets of chains. Sure, you're well aware these are notorious for letting discs cut right through or getting that very dreaded kickback right off the center pole.
Mm-hmm.
What should I do when I'm at home practicing? Should I continue to commit to my putts? Maybe just aim for slightly off center? Or should I start to practice easing them into the basket? I don't putt considerably harder or easier than anyone else. Any help you can give would be greatly appreciated. I know new baskets at the course would be an option, and I am entered in the disc golf match play coming up.
All right.
I don't think I'm going to do too well considering I'm an 800 rated player. Well, thank you very much. Great work on the show.
Sweet. I was actually going to suggest he emails us at coursesales@dynamicdisc.com and place an order for
baskets.
No, I'm joking, obviously. I think Robert we talked about it a little bit. I don't think we talked about it on air, but off air about this past weekend playing on Mach 3s, which are kind of the industry not standard anymore. D-standard. I mean, they used to be great. They used to be great, but they were also made to catch Frisbees, not the golf discs that we have today. And I remember we had talked a little bit. I'm like, just don't change your putt. Just commit to the putts, and if it pops out, it pops out.
Mm-hmm.
You made the putt. You made a good putt, a good putting stroke. Mm-hmm. So I suggest don't change your putt just because of the basket you're putting on. It kind of sucks to have to do that at certain times, especially when it's your home course. But majority of the time, if you're going to go out and play events, you're not going to be playing on those Mach 2s or Mach 3s for the most part.
Yeah, and it's like we said earlier, if it does spit you out, at least you did your part.
Yep.
I made the mistake during my first tournament this weekend of kind of adjusting my aiming point to try and just set it in the basket so I didn't get spit out. And guess how many spit outs I got? Zero of them. Guess how far I was out of winning? 4 shots.
Yep.
If I make half of those putts, I'm tied for the win. And these aren't like difficult putts. We're talking between 25. Well, one was probably only about 18, 15, but the rest were around 25 to 30 that are in my confidence zone. And I just never gave them a chance because I got scared of the basket. And then polar opposite on Sunday, I just said, you know what? If I'm going to get spit out, so be it. I'm going to make the putt, and then whatever happens after that is fine.
Absolutely right.
And it worked out. So I think it's important that when you hit that basket and it does get spit out, hey, I made a good putt. And by the way, when we're talking spit outs, we're not saying, hey, I hit some chains on the right and it pushed out right. We're talking when you put it in the middle and it hits the pole, comes back out, or goes cut straight through.
Yeah. Spit out isn't just because when just because you hit metal and it doesn't stay, that's not a spit.
No, not even a little bit. That's a bad putt, and you need to own up to that. Yes. But true spits are a little bit more rare than I think most people think.
Agreed.
So don't change your putt. Commit to them and hit it the way that you're supposed to.
Yeah. Next one, Next one comes from Todd.
Hey, Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, EMAC, Rain Guru, and any other special guests who may happen to be there. This is Todd coming back at you from.
Welcome, special guest Rob.
Yes, thank you. I will be here this week and all the weeks prior and after.
As a special guest.
Yeah, as a special guest.
Gonna see with a follow-up from last weekend's tournament. I had to take a moment there to process the event and distill it down to the finer details. So if you don't recall, I just switched my bag to all trilogy plastic from a mixed bag. The transition was not a major issue because I was familiar with a few molds already. The biggest problem I encountered was the rain. It started at the 2-minute warning and lasted till about halfway through the second round and was a downpour. I used a friction glove the first round and my hand was pruned pretty bad in between rounds. My water-resistant clothes were soaked, so I went to Wally World and grabbed an 18-pack of shop towels and some Ziploc bags and loaded up per Robert McCall's sage advice. As you're probably aware, discs are oftentimes moist after having been dried, and I learned something really important. Always carry prime and blend plastic during rain rounds for the grip. I only had one prime disc with me. Luckily, it was an EMAC Truth.
Boom.
The tackiness in the rain allows for a great grip, and that disc was perfect for the relatively short course. I wasn't feeling my putt the first round, and I blame the glove. I have a question related to my transition, though. I really like the Pro Plastic for drivers, and I was wondering what the closest analog would be in the Trilogy Plastic. Thanks for the hard work, guys. Keep it real.
Todd, breathe.
Take a breath.
Breathe.
I'm actually kind of impressed.
I am as well. I actually envision like Bobby reading that with no punctuation.
Oh my gosh.
That's good.
I wish I could tell you how many sponsorship emails I get like that are just blah. I think he remembered that I was on the show, but just called me not Robert because he was moving pretty quickly right there. So I take back my rudeness, but I will just be a special guest.
I take back my rudeness.
Yeah, I will just be a special guest here. So there it is. Our equivalent to pro plastic would probably be our classic plastic. We don't have anything that's a strict equivalent, right?
I would lean toward Biofusion being a little closer to the Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it depends on which Pro plastic I guess you're talking about.
Right. Driver Pro for Innova would be more like, closer to our Bio. I would say the feels are pretty different.
Yes, absolutely.
But in the
All
wear,
about the feels.
yeah, all the feels.
All the feels.
Oh, Instagram. Anyway, I would say in their speed of beating up, Biofusion beats up probably a little less quickly than Driver Pro plastic does. But then if you're talking KC Pro type Pro plastic, that's a different thing entirely.
Or is he talking about Pro D plastic from Discraft?
He totally could be.
So there's a lot of different types of quote Pro plastic out there.
Well, yeah, when it comes to, as he was talking about when you're playing in the rain, prime plastic, blend plastic, things like that, they are going to give you that additional grip, and they actually dry better than the premium plastics.
Mm-hmm. Which I mean, I'll put in some prime discs if I know for a fact it's going to rain.
But I'm not trying to change my bag.
Yeah, no, not at all. But one thing that also will help is like a birdie bag or a whale sack with climbing chalk in it.
Yeah.
And you just kind of wipe the disc down, slap some of that on there, and it does give you grip. You look like, I've mentioned this before.
Yeah.
You look like LeBron James at the beginning of the games.
That's right.
I look like that all the time.
Yeah. And I've witnessed this, when it was rainy outside and Eric was just like, hey, it's cool.
Yeah, woo, no big deal.
What are you guys doing slipping around over there? I'm parked.
Exactly.
That's not how Eric's voice sounds, but in the story, it was pretty close.
It's close.
Like.
Yeah.
In the story.
Yeah.
In the story. It's a good story.
Cool, Bob.
Next question comes from Noah. Whenever I do stuff like that, I'm buying time to find out what the next question
we
is.
know, Bobby.
Oh, we know. Noah asks, EMAC, when you were making your signature disc, the EMAC Truth, how much of an influence was the Buzz?
Bzz.
I know you come from Discraft and you probably bagged the Buzz.
Nah.
And the numbers look similar. Currently, my mid-range game is all Discraft molds, and I'm kind of having trouble with my grip on smaller rims. I noticed the EMAC Truth has a slight but more of a rim to it. Just wondering how similar the flights were.
I'll be honest. I'll keep it real.
Oh,
I thought Bobby was only supposed to do
it's
that.
patent pending.
That's
so.
okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You can keep it real for me.
Eric is going to keep it real.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Now you
Okay,
can
good.
perfect.
All right. Obviously, a lot of the influence from the original Truth was from. I wouldn't necessarily say it was like, full on Buzz ripoff at all, because it's quite a bit different in the hand, and it's actually the Truth is quite a bit faster, which is good and bad. I mean, it has advantages and disadvantages to having a faster mid range. But yeah, I would say there was some influence there for sure. And then the EMAC Truth obviously is just a more stable version of it. Both are great discs. The Buzz I threw for years. It was my go-to. I was kind of known for throwing that disc, and now I'm known for throwing the EMAC, I would say. But yeah, they're pretty similar. I think the EMAC's a little bit faster. I can get more distance out of it than I ever could the Buzz. But yeah, I think they could be considered similar.
Mm-hmm. I remember when y'all started talking about the Truth. This was either before I was sponsored or right when I was talking with Rusco and the guys. That you were really looking for the fly of the Buzz more even than the feel. Because we at the time had the Fugitive, but that never felt good to you because you didn't like a bead very much.
And it had the big dome. It just felt off to me.
Especially compared to what you were used to throwing. So when they came out with the Truth, I think the things that came from the Buzz specifically were the lines that you could throw with it, and then the lack of bead. Like you want it to be pretty flat, right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. And the fact that it's a mid.
Yeah. Well,
just a neutral flying mid range is what I wanted.
You can count on. Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. Next one comes from a Chris from California.
Oh.
A Chris?
A Chris.
A Chris?
A Chris. I'm in my second year playing, and normally I can only do I can only get my drives to around 300 to 320 or so. That's a solid 425 to 450 internet distance.
Thank you for clarifying.
Except for one driver. I have one driver I can get around 360 to 380. The problem is that anytime I throw it more than 6 to 7 times in a round, my elbow starts to hurt and hurts for about a day. I don't notice this happening with any other disc. This is a 161, and I usually throw over 168. Could it be the weight, or could it be me having a form issue? Thoughts?
I have a thought.
All right, let's hear it.
I think it's likely that you are getting some of the extra distance from the difference in weight, like the 161 to 168. I think that would make some difference in distance. Probably not a ton, but, maybe a 10, 15 feet or something like that. It could be a little bit more, actually. I've had discs like this, too, where they were close to or even the same as some of my other discs, but I threw them farther one time, and so for every time after that, I was like, oh, I can throw this farther. So I remembered, hey, I can throw this farther, and then I worked on throwing it harder. And for me, it sounds like you've got something that's tennis elbow-ish, maybe some tendonitis in your elbow. And what that came from for me was trying to throw too hard and pair that with not following through. The most important thing that you can do when you're throwing far and hard is follow through, because if you're cutting off your follow through, you're putting strain on muscles and joints that shouldn't normally be there. Like that ends an athletic motion too abruptly. So I would for you work on following through and then maybe smoothing out your form as much as you can so that throw with that disc that you throw far feels the same as the others. It may just be that you're trying to throw it too hard. So
Correct.
Just try and smooth it out across the board and make sure that you follow through. That's one of the best ways to avoid injury for sure.
Yep, I agree.
I agree as well. I concur.
Thank you. Do you concur?
No.
I concur.
I just agree.
Yeah.
All right, next one is from Riley in Iowa.
Hey guys, Rye Guy here in southern Iowa. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Last year, about halfway through the summer, I finally figured out what Danny Lindahl was talking about when he says slow is smooth and smooth is far. And I learned that I didn't have to just crank on disc on my drivers, and finally started to throw like the lower speed stuff and learning how to throw it straight. I've got that down. Now I just need to develop a turnover shot, because I played baseball my whole life. For some reason, I cannot throw forehand to save my life. So I need something that goes right. Basically, how do I teach myself? Is it just a grip, release angle? Is there any way that you guys can just give me recommendations to make that seem smoother or more comfortable? But anyway, that's all. Thanks, guys.
As far as throwing a backhand turnover?
Yep.
At
least that's what I heard it as. I know
Yeah.
he talked about forehands as well,
Yeah.
but I think backhand turnover.
Yeah. My suggestion would be to find a flippy mid-range first.
Yes.
Something like even a warrant or evidence, something in that lineup. It just kind of depends on what you're throwing right now. But the warrant is one of our most understable mids until the patrol comes out.
Yeah, and the proof too. The proof is more understable, but it's light.
It's also I wouldn't suggest someone trying to work on their form or turnover shots by throwing a 150 whatever.
Definitely
it is.
not.
Grab yourself a warrant right now and go out into a field and just kind of work on that angle of getting it to hold that line. And if the disc's coming out and riding perfect, that's when you can work on your form. If it's coming out and turning over and cut rolling, also you could either work on your form or maybe try an evidence, step up from that in stability. But I mean, it's really all about just getting out to that field and consistently throwing shots over and over and over, just that repetition, as opposed to, me telling you one thing that you're doing right or wrong,
right,
and work on that. It's most likely a form issue and angle sensitive coming out of your hand on certain lines.
Yeah. I think there are two schools of thought when it comes to throwing Anheuser's, and one is let the disc do the work for you, and then the other is you introduce the angle and force it over on an anhyzer. Both can be good. They can be used in different situations for different shots.
I'm personally a firm believer in letting the disc do the work.
Definitely. And you throw those super well. And I think having both is good, right? Like you could throw a forced over whatever if you wanted to, easy, because you've worked on your angles.
Yes.
But having both, I think, is really important. And so to learn the first, to let the disc do the work for you, I agree with Eric. Take a warrant, take an evidence, something like that. Work on letting it go flat, and then let it move to the right for you. And then find some discs in that same stability range that you can throw a little bit farther if you're working on that anhyzer. The other would be to take a more neutral flying disc, like a good example would be one of the new Mavericks, or an EMAC Truth, or even just an original Truth, a pre-Mac Truth, as they've been called. And you focus on starting the angle over, and make sure that you follow through on this one. This just happens to be 2 questions in a row that follow through, I think, is the answer. But follow through on anhyzers, I think, is almost even more important than on hyzers, because the disc naturally wants to fly on a hyzer. It doesn't naturally want to fly on an anhyzer. So when you follow through, you need to follow through on the angle that you're intending to throw it on. So on an anhyzer, that actually means you're following through toward the ground. But once you do that, you can make the disc hold that line for a longer time. So work on both. Having both is super important. If you only know how to do one right now, that's totally fine. Work on having both, though.
Yes.
Excellent. All right, guys, we're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be right back. So something that we mentioned in past episodes, you've heard about the buyback program, but I want to make sure if you're a new listener, you know about this. The buyback program we have set up with specific stores all over the United States. You can actually go to dynamicdisc.com/retail, scroll to the bottom, and you can find to see if a buyback retailer is near you. But a buyback retailer allows you to try out discs from the 3 brands that we carry: Dynamic Discs, Westside Disc, and Latitude 64. After you buy that disc, don't mark on it, keep your receipt. If for whatever reason you do not like that disc, you can take it back within 14 days, and that store will take the disc back, and you can use that credit toward any other disc in the store. It doesn't even have to be from the 3 brands. It can be from any brand in the store. That's how much we have confidence that you will enjoy our disc and your disc will fit your game. But I mentioned this because the other day I did some Instagram live stuff, and we have some special edition captains headed out there. And I know a lot of people are excited. You can only get these special edition captain discs at a buyback retailer. So if you shop at a store and they're not a buyback retailer, you need to let them know to become a buyback retailer so they can get exclusive access to some of these discs. Real quick, the captain. Tell everybody about the captain.
Captain, oh captain.
Captain, my captain.
Captain?
Captain. All right, that just got awkward.
I think people are going to like the captain if they're okay. Here's one specific group of people that I think are going to love the captain. Those are people who right now their max distance is between kind of a 320, 340, somewhere in there. The captain is a high speed,
You're going to love the captain.
I think so, for sure.
Think so?
Yeah. High speed, relatively understable driver, but that has a consistent turn to it, but is not a turn and burn disc. Right?
Correct.
So I think that's going to be the disc that pushes you from 320, 340 to 360, 380. I'm not going to promise you distance immediately.
No, I want a guarantee from you.
I give you a guarantee. Hey, you know what? If you don't like it, you can take it back to any of our buyback retailers.
As long as you bought it from
that's fine. But yeah, it's just an easy flight path for people who don't throw super distances and who are looking to increase their distance. I think it's going to be great for them.
I think it's going to be an awesome disc for a lot of people. The stability wise, I kind of put it between the Freedom and the Sheriff.
Yep, that's good.
Similar because they both, all 3 kind of have the bigger rim, high speed, understable flight. For me, I put one in the bag over the last couple rounds that we went out and played, and I was just trying it out for rollers. And I didn't care for it for a roller for me because I don't like to roll the high speed stuff. I like the Renegade, little smaller rim on it for a roller. But for me, I'll tell you what. When we went to Kansas City that day and played, I threw some bombs with that Captain at like 80% on a hyzer release with a lot of air, giving it a lot of height, and it would easy distance, just mashing easy distance. And that's why I think players maybe have a little bit slower arm speed or love the freedom, but it's a little too understable for him. And like the Sheriff, but it may be a touch too overstable for him.
The Sheriff will be too overstable?
If the Sheriff is maybe a touch overstable or you're not getting quite the distance, the Captain is right in between those two.
Oh, wow.
Right. And that's why I know Bobby used to throw the Freedom a lot.
Yeah.
And I really think the Captain is going to be something you like.
Excellent.
I'll say, too, one of our Team DD players who recently moved to Germany, his name is Kyle Giovannini. And if you've ever played disc golf with Kyle, you know he throws far. I mean, far. So he was playing a tournament this weekend, and he told me I had a 587-foot tee shot on a par 5 with a new Ballista Pro. Just so you know how far he throws. Like,
that's good.
Turns out that's far. But he said I also had 2 eagle looks with the Captain on a 490-foot dogleg right. So he put it up. Probably
massive turnover.
Yeah, release on hyzer and let it do the work for you. So even if you are someone who throws a little bit farther, I think a lot of people will find utility in this disc for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's good, dude.
All right, let's get back to the questions.
Okay.
This one is from Robert
McCall.
Is it me?
No.
Oh.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man crew. This is Robert from Texas. Just wanted to start off by thanking Robert McCall and Paige Pierce for giving me their signatures at the Town Lake Open. Really nice of y'all. Way to go on the last round there, Robert.
Thanks.
I guess my main question today is it possible to get Mercies or Marshalls without a stamp, the top stamp, no stamp at all, blank, or a small DD stamp on them instead of the big stamp? I'm a little OCD, and I guess every now and then I think about the stamp or look at the stamp instead of looking at the basket when I'm about to putt. So it'd be really cool if I could pick up a stack of Mercies and Marshalls with no stamp at all. Thanks, guys, for everything you do for the disc golf community. Can't wait to see you guys up here in Texas again for the Nick Hyde Memorial.
Sweet.
I don't do we sell blanks? I know we have blanks. And I don't know if we have. I think I've seen Mercy. I don't know if I've seen Marshall.
We have blanks.
There's definite blanks of both.
Yeah,
but we don't sell them, right? They're
not factory blank. Yeah. No. Yeah. So talk about the Mercy real quick.
Well, the Mercy there is a handful of maybe tournament stamp Mercies or Marshalls that you're looking to get. That'd be one option. I will be releasing another McCabe Mercy at some point. Relatively soon, I'm hoping.
Maccabi.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know what that stamp's going to look like yet, but it's not going to be large. I think it'll be something relatively small. But there is out there you can find if you go to the In Search Of page on Facebook, and if you just search, ask, because I know that there's some Mercies out there right now with just my signature stamp and just the silhouette stamp. Those are pretty small. And don't really, I understand where you're coming from because the sun sometimes will hit a certain foil color and blind you. I mean, your only other real option would be to wipe.
Yep.
With some
acetone is always an option.
Which it's so hard to some stamps don't come off very easy and it scratches it and it just kind of looks like garbage.
And then you're mad that you even tried it.
Yeah. Yep. And then you
throw the disc away.
We make no guarantees
on
our advice whether it will work or not.
That's right. Every once in a while, we'll run a small corner stamp on those discs, but it's just for sometimes, like Eric said, for events. Sometimes if we just want, some that have a small DD stamp in the corner or something like that. So I would check on the website somewhat frequently for those, but for the most part, you're going to have the best luck doing going to the Trilogy Marketplace page or just, wiping the stamp yourself.
Next one comes from Kyle.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I have a question about disc nose angle. I've noticed that when Jeremy Colling does commentary, he makes a lot of statements about nose angle. For example, He'll mention that someone kept the nose angle up just enough to get a good skip. As a casual disc golfer, I was under the impression that you almost always want the nose angle of the disc to be pointing down. However, sometimes for upshots, I will float a putter to the basket nose up. Do pros consciously change the nose angle of the disc for different types of shots? Keep it real.
It's a good question. That's, I don't think, one that we've ever had.
No, I don't think so either. Which is becoming more and more rare lately.
Yeah. Don't listen to Jeremy Colling.
Let's start off with that. He doesn't. No, I think there is definitely
Kidding,
something.
of course.
Of course.
Got to put that out there.
Of course. I think there is.
That's Eric emotions. No, I'm not.
No, I'm not.
Oh, big Germ.
No.
But I think there's something to what Germ is saying, and there's something to nose angles and skips, right?
Yes.
In general, for your longest flights, you want the nose to be level with the playing surface or slightly nose down. That prevents your disc from just finishing left early or something like that. Like you said, for upshots, throwing the disc nose up is good to control distance because you can throw it, you can still follow through at your regular speed and the disc will slow down for you because it's not in its most aerodynamic state.
Correct.
Now, when you're getting ready to throw a skip hyzer, you do want the leading edge of the disc, so the nose, to be slightly up so that it doesn't just dig into the ground when it hits. And that has a lot to do with the leading edge, but then also the edge closest to the ground. Like if you're a right-hand backhand player, the left edge and the angle at which it hits the ground is, I'd say, equally as important as the nose being slightly up. Because if either one of those is too sharp to the ground, you aren't going to get the skip that you need.
True.
So in general, if you're looking for a big old huge skip, you do want that disc to be slightly nose up and hit the ground at, I don't know what that would be, 30 degrees, 35, if you want it to just flare over to the left. If you do a little bit less angle than that, you're going to get a little bit straighter skip and maybe a few skips with it. So yeah, they're definitely angle sensitive. Whether or not pros think actively about that or are just used to throwing that now so they don't have to think about it, it's probably the latter. But at some point, I'm sure they put some work into figuring that out.
Yeah, I would think so. And as far as all putts or drives or throws nose down, that's absolutely not the case.
Right.
I wouldn't say.
Yeah, definitely not nose down. You want it to be level if at all possible.
Mhm.
Like that's the ideal flight.
And me on putts, I putt nose up.
Right.
Prefer to putt nose up.
Mm-hmm. Tell us why.
Because if I miss, it'll have a chance to crawl over like a fat kid climbing the fence is what we call it when it hits the basket and crawls over.
That's right.
Actually, no, that's not the exact reason why, but it is part of it. And another part of it is it'll fight the wind a little bit better. That's why I prefer a headwind over a tailwind, because if I put it up there just a little bit nose up, I know it's going to lift, and I just got to hit my aiming point for it to go in. So it's just more of a consistent putt for me.
Mm-hmm. And then there are also, there's people like Ricky who puts nose down because he likes the consistency of the angle coming down to the basket.
Hits the chains and drops in as opposed to have any chance of cutting out.
Right. And y'all are just two totally different brands of putters. And so
I'm good, he's not.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, he's just kind of okay at putting. I don't know if you've watched him much. But, putting angles and things like that, those are as particular to the individual as like putting grips are or anything like that. So
no two people putt the same.
Exactly. Well, other than you and me, exactly the same.
That's true. Identical.
Robert, I heard you were angle sensitive.
I am. I'm extremely angle sensitive.
Does that mean he's acute?
Yeah. Yes. Compliments. First ones ever on the show.
I'd say he's more obtuse.
Which means dumb too. Dang it.
Yay, we're back.
Back to regular.
back to our regular scheduled.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, that makes me think of the Shawshank Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I'm being
obtuse. Maybe you're being obtuse. What did you call me?
And this next one's from Boo.
What up, Boo?
Hey, Boo.
What's up, gentlemen? So, if you could build a disc golfer out of various attributes from players that are currently on the team, what attributes would you use to make that perfect disc golfer or the best disc golfer you could create using those attributes? Maybe Ron Kahn's wind ability, Eric's putting, Miles Seaborn's hyzers, Robert's hair, etc. What do you guys think about that? Let me know. I'll check you later. Cheers.
I'm just glad I have something to contribute in hair. Although Zach Melton or Chris Clemens. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So let's. And here's the hardest part: is we have a lot of people on the team who are really good at a lot of things. Right.
Fact.
Just playing.
How many people do we get? Do we get to like just mush our whole team as the one player?
Sure. That sounds good.
Okay.
That sounds good.
So who they got?
All right.
It's hard. So I'd say here's some things that I've observed about players that I really, really like that I think would be helpful for any disc golfer to have. Right. So we'll start with some of our newer guys.
Okay.
And I'll say Chris Clemens. Yeah, you're brand new, right? Yeah. I'll say Chris Clemens. I really like just how smooth Clemens is, backhand and forehand both. I feel like he's equally talented, and you could say the same about Zach Melton at this point too, because lefties have to be that. But I like how equally talented he is at backhand and forehand drives. So I would definitely use that from him and from Zach Melton if I was making an ideal player.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think another one I would take is Peter McBride's demeanor.
Yep. That was one that I would say.
You can see Pete across the course and you don't know if he's playing well or playing bad. Most of the time he's playing well.
Yeah.
But you don't know that because he just keeps it cool. He's having a good time. That's what I love about the kid. He's just yeah. So definitely
shredding, playing poorly doesn't matter. Yeah.
That's very important in my opinion.
Yeah. And I'd say Zoe, though Zoe hadn't gotten to play much this year because she's been working on some educational stuff about disc golf, but I'd add her demeanor into that too. Zoe's super positive on the course. And I think one thing that Peter and Zoe do really well is they commit to their shots. Like every time it's a fully committed shot, you're never going to see them just kind of fluffing it or at least not committing. Maybe they'll make a mistake, but they were intending to do something and just barely missed instead of like, oh, I'm scared.
Yeah.
So I think that's good.
I think we'd have to take Paige's dominance.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Maybe Paige's like winning mentality.
Yes.
Because she does a lot of things well. I would definitely trade my driving distance for Paige's because she just throws so far.
Consistent distance.
There's quite a few things I would trade for Paige with you. Yeah. Putting, distance, overall sportsmanship,
probably rating.
Athleticism.
Is that right?
Rating.
Is that right?
Friendship.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry, what?
Dude. Need I remind you? I'm winning this bet right now. I'm on the ascent of the hill to winning. I know.
I'm glad.
Okay. No, you're not.
I was there the whole reason was to motivate you.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Next one is from Jay.
Wait, we're not.
Oh, we're not done?
No. I like, because we still got a couple of new players that I think are worth mentioning. I would take Dustin Keegan's demeanor along with Peter's, but then also Dustin has sneaky distance. He throws far, and his form is really, really clean, and I like that a whole lot. I think I'd take that for one of our players, and as far as putting goes, I mean, obviously Eric McCabe is a fantastic putter, but I think I like Jordan Castro's putt a lot. It's just beeline at the basket. There's not a lot of nose up, nose down, left to right. It's just flat and straight and committed every time. So I like that a whole lot. And then we got a couple more people on the touring team who I think would be worth mentioning.
AJ Risley's ability to eat Waffle House would be one.
That's it.
That's all I want. That's good.
Yes.
I gotta admit though,
you didn't love it.
I wasn't impressed by Waffle House's waffle.
It's kind of like
they were thin and crispy.
It's kind of like In-N-Out Burger. I don't believe the hype. I don't believe the hype.
I'm just kind of okay with In-N-Out.
I would rather have Whataburger.
Wow. We're going to have a throwdown.
I agree.
Of Whataburger and In-N-Out. I don't know how we're going to do it.
Would you agree with me?
I'll agree with Whataburger. Yeah. But I don't think
we're going to have a blind taste test.
Great. Oh, that's easy.
That'll be super easy. Which one has animal style? Anyway,
I just won't order it with the animal style.
Joke's on you. I already did.
Okay.
I don't think either one of Whataburger or In-N-Out is like awesome.
I know.
They're just like I like Whataburger. It's good. I like In-N-Out. It's good. But neither is neither hung the moon.
But waffle. I mean, it's in their name.
As far as
and their waffles aren't that good.
What about Whataburger? It's in their name.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
He thought it was Whataburger up until just now.
Yeah. Whataburger.
Whataburger. So anyway,
back to the players. I like AJ's efficiency in his swing. It doesn't look like he's throwing hard, and then all of a sudden the disc just went 500 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it's super clean every time. I like that. And then I like Oakley's forehand a whole lot. I would take
He's
it
got
as
good forehand.
I would take it as my own if I had the option. Because he bombs it and doesn't miss left a whole lot. Like he doesn't burn him over very much, and I kind of do that sometimes. And then I'll tell you who else is a good putter who I would lump in with you guys is Tina. And Tina
does have a good putt.
Yeah, she's going to take some time off because she's had a shoulder injury that now she's going to have to rehab. So wish her the best. You'll still see her out there on tour, running events, doing things like that. But
running the sewing machine as well. Probably.
Definitely, yeah. But she is such a good putter. Like she is a really, really good putter.
Yeah,
so
she's solid for sure.
that was a really long roundabout answer, but there we go.
Lolo's. They had
Lolo's
some good
chicken and waffles. Yeah, that was good.
I mean,
come
like
on.
thick and tasty.
Yeah,
That was good.
I wish they were a little more crispy, but still, they were super good.
However, if you look at the difference in prices too between Lolo's and Waffle House,
you
could buy like probably 8 waffles
at least.
Still good though.
I agree, they're both good. I just
Next one is from Jay Tree Love Clemens.
Tree Love.
You have to say it like that though.
You're welcome for the answer, by the way, Boo. Took about 5 minutes to get there.
Rabbit hole.
Hi guys, my name is Jay Tree Love in Simi Valley, California. I only throw West Side discs. So my question is, if you're to play a 9-hole par 3, only allowed to carry 3 West Side discs, which discs would they be? Doesn't have to be a putter, mid-range, and driver. For example, my answer would be the Queen, which I recently lost and need to get replaced.
Rip.
A Pine and an Origio Warship. So thanks for taking my question.
No putter.
What I'm going to do once I hear back, I'm going to play around with each of your answers, compare them, see which one of you gave the correct answer.
Wow.
Pressure's on. I like that he says correct answer when like we've never played with you. We don't know if you're playing well that day or not. So hopefully,
What did he say he played with?
He said
Queen.
He said a queen,
Warship.
Yeah.
And Pine.
Yeah.
I've never thrown a warship.
It's interesting. It goes far for a mid, like
it does.
really
It
super
does.
duper.
It kind of has an obscure lip on it, so you got to get used to that. But when you do, it does fly pretty good.
Okay.
See, but this is for me. If I were to play, he said,
if it's for me or for you,
if
because
I would play with a West Side bag, it would have to be for the putter crown because I heard that it's pretty straight putter.
It's pretty stable.
I like that straight putter. The West Side hatchet.
Wait, a straight putter for you would be a Swan.
Correct.
That's true. I used to have a Swan before the Deputy. That's good.
The crown would be more overstable than you're used to.
Okay, so then the Swan, and then a hatchet, and
that's a good
then
one.
I'm not even sure what. And it doesn't have to be
Stag.
necessarily a stag.
I like
Remember
the stag.
when we did that?
Oh yeah,
Friday,
that's right.
I told you need to try
I've never
one.
thrown that.
It's good. It's super good.
That's tough for me. Okay, that's what you would do. What about for him? Because you got to come up with something for him.
I would stick to. Does it have to be different than what he's already thrown?
You know, I would just go ahead and stick to what you're throwing.
Yeah.
Tell me how it goes.
The Queen is good. I've thrown the Queen a few times. I really like it. I'd have.
I think you got to come up with 3 new ones.
I'm not familiar with West Side enough.
What?
Weak.
Let's see. The Queen. I don't know. What would you guys suggest? I would go with a hatchet, a Swan, and
I've got
Hatchet.
3 good ones.
Okay. So you said hatchet, Swan, and what's one more? Hatchet, Swan,
Bard,
and Bard.
Ooh, stable.
Good choices.
Those are all good. Here's what I would say. This is for me. I'll choose for you in a second. For me, I would take the Fortress, probably a VIP Fortress, real nice, workable stability, backhand and forehand. I would take a Sling, straight.
Sling blade?
Yep. Straight neutral flying mid range. And then for once again, for me.
Like him.
Yeah. Once again, this is for me. I would choose the Crown. Just like the feel of it.
Oh, that's wrong. Sorry.
Oh, you're going to say the Shield, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Shield is.
You can be. This can be your right.
Shield for days.
It's 2018. We can both be right.
Okay.
Now for you, Jay. It was Jay, right?
Tree Love.
Jay Tree Love. All right. I am going to choose the Stag for sure. Off the top, Stag, Sling for neutral, and Swan. That's what I say.
I am.
I have 3.
I thought I was.
I have 3 S's. Stag, Sling, Swan.
Stags. So I'm going to raise you another S word.
Ooh, sword.
And go with the S word.
The S word. Sword.
I think you should try the sword.
I do know more West Side than
The shield.
That is sword. I can read, man.
Another S.
Okay.
Shield.
Yeah, shield's good.
Sword. Shield. And yeah, I'm going to say
Spard.
Stag as well.
I was going to say Satchet.
CMAC Truth. I think you should get an EMAC Truth and stamp a West Side logo on it.
And you'll definitely win. Awesome. Let us know how we did and who was right. Probably me, but also probably not.
All right. Last question is from Alan.
How's it going, DGAM fam? This is Alan again from Southern California. And I got great news. I got the okay from the club. I got approved, and I'm going to be hosting one of the USA NPC brackets here in Southern California.
Nice.
I'm super excited for that. Anyway, my question today is about the Lucid X plastic that's about to come out. And from what I've heard, it's going to be slightly more overstable than regular Lucid plastic, although I don't know why. That's kind of my question. Because in my experience, the fluid and more gummier type of plastics have tended to be more overstable for me, and the stiffer plastics are usually less stable than regular discs, I guess, at least in my experience. So my question is, why is the Lucid X stiffer and yet more overstable? So can you give some insight as to why that is, like kind of how it affects the flight, like on a technical level, I guess? If you can get into that, that would be awesome. Thanks for taking my question, and see you in Kansas, hopefully. Hopefully I make it all the way there. That would be really cool. Keep on keeping it real and doing all of the fun things.
We will.
He's just trying to fill up that 90 seconds. I'm just going to give you my technical answer.
I'm ready.
You don't know.
Because.
Yeah.
Because?
Because.
Yeah.
Just cause.
Because they came in and we threw them, and that's what they said.
Yeah.
Oh, those are more overstable.
They did. I don't know if it's the more dome or the plastic type or what it is, but 100% the enforcer that we got and tested is
beef.
A stiletto beef almost, I would say.
Quite
I mean, it's
overstable.
That's what Jordan was saying when he threw him in Memorial, and I was filming him. He said the same thing. He was, man, that's like a stiletto.
Yeah,
he said it just like that too.
That feels better in the hand too. It's not like super flat and large rimmed. I don't know. I don't think we really have an answer. Like, this is exactly why.
Right.
I mean, that Thomas may be able to.
He could definitely tell you
what the answer is. But yeah, they're just a little bit more stiffer. It could be the plastic type, the more dome, possibly. I don't know what it is, but they're definitely beefy.
I agree. Every time I hear a question like this and that I don't know the exact answer to, I just think of that meme of the guy from the History Channel who's like a scientist and his hair sticking up. He's like, science. That's what I think about.
Aliens.
Yeah. Oh, aliens, man. I think the cooling process has a lot to do with discs overstability. And if it is starting off with a stiffer plastic, maybe they're having a more consistent, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Cooling setup for these. So instead of letting them cool and then maybe the dome comes down a little bit, maybe it's staying higher, or I don't know, something like that. You should ask Thomas. He could tell you. That's it.
That's it. All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning into this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. If you've got about 2 hours and 13 minutes, if you're going to do some putting practice, going to work out, or just need something to listen to, just to jam out to, go to Spotify, check out DGAM, JAAM, the Gam Jam.
You said JAAM, JAM. That's like Timu.
Check out the Gam Jam playlist.
The Gam Jams.
I just added a couple more songs, so you got 42 songs on there to listen to.
Did you add LL Cool J, I Need Love on there yet?
No, I did not.
Come on, dude.
Please do.
If you enjoy the music that I put on videos and we put in the podcast when we take our breaks, if you like that music, I put together a playlist that has the same genre. I just like saying the word genre.
It is a good word.
True.
So check that out. We have right now is 432 followers of that playlist.
Nice, cool.
That's pretty cool. I like to get it to 500. I think that'd be kind of cool to get 500. Also, like we mentioned, discgolfmatchplay.com. Check out all the match play action going on. Dynamicdisc.com/retail to find a buyback partner near you. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.